Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We would like to welcome everyone today for our regular midweek program. And today we will be continuing our new series, the 12 Mahajans. And today the personality that we will be covering is Sri Narada Muni. And our special guest speaker who will be covering this wonderful topic will be Her Grace Gita Devi Dasi Mataji. So I'll just give an introduction before we start, and then I will hand it over to Mataji. So Mataji joined ISKCON in 1985 and took first initiation in 1987 and second initiation in 1995 from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Mataji has completed the Bhakti Shastri and currently is preaching in Atlanta, does various home programs and partakes in Harinams and different preaching initiatives around Atlanta. She has also held a position as a board member on the ISKCON Atlanta community. Mataji is known for her wonderful classes, and she articulates these topics so wonderfully. She is very much in demand these days when it comes to classes. A lot of devotees are requesting for her to give more and more classes. So we are very grateful, and we would just like to warmly welcome Mataji today. And thank you for being with us, Mataji. We appreciate your time and your association, and we look forward to hearing from you. So without any further ado, if you're ready, you may go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be of some service. As we heard last Wednesday from Adigadadhar Prabhu about the introduction to the 12 Mahajanas, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6th Canto, Chapter 3, we find this beautiful verse talking about these 12 Mahajanas, which is Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Mano Prahlada Janaka Bhishma Vali Vayasaki Vayam. These are the 12 Mahajanas. What is Mahajana? Maha means great. Jana is the personality. So these are great personalities. And this verse is spoken by Yamaraj himself. It's very interesting that Lord Krishna and Sri Narada Muni, they appear in all cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Isn't that wonderful? We find both of them in each and every canto. And Sri Narada Muni is considered a transcendental spaceman. He can go anywhere, any planet, any time. He doesn't even need a ticket on Delta Airlines or Lufthansa. No, he can travel anywhere. He's a transcendental spaceman. What does Narada mean? Nara means of Narayana or Krishna, and Da means deliverer. So Sri Narada Muni, he is the deliverer of the Lord and Lord's message. There are many who deliver, many are considered deliverers of Lord's messages, but Sri Narad Muni is eminently distinguished. He is a very pure devotee of the Lord. And his only desire is to spread Krishna Bhakti to as many souls as possible. And he's not restricted to just one planet. He can travel anywhere, right? And the whole purpose is to teach us the importance of bhakti, to teach us how to perform bhakti, especially in this Kali Yuga. And most importantly, he comes in the direct disciplic succession, right? We see in the Bhagavad Gita, the last page of the introduction to Bhagavad Gita as it is, we see the whole disciplic succession. And we see Krishna spoke it to Brahma, Brahma spoke it to Narada. Narada spoke it to Vyasadeva. So he comes in a strict disciplic succession. And he has wonderful qualities. He is eternally unconditioned. And what are we? We are conditioned souls. And he exists in his spiritual body always. Why? Because he's an empowered authority. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls him a Shaktya Vesha avatar. That is what Sri Narada Muni is. And he is actually empowered to be able to convince anyone, any of the fallen souls, he can convince them to Krishna consciousness. He's so potent with opulence of devotion. And his teachings, we can find them in Narada Pancharatra, Narada Bhakti Sutras. Of course, we find his teachings in Srimad Bhagavatam. When we read the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, what do we find? Narad Muni is having a conversation with Srila Vyasadeva. This is when Srila Vyasadeva, after, compiling the Vedas, dividing them into four, and he was still unsatisfied. He didn't know what is it that is causing him to be dissatisfied. And that is where his spiritual master, Sri Narada Muni, arrives. And this is there in the first canto, where Narad Muni, is talking to Srila Vyasadeva, and upon questions from Srila Vyasadeva, Sri Narad Muni explains about his previous birth. Do any of us remember who or what we were in our previous life? We don't even remember what we did 2 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago. We don't remember anything at all. Yes, if it is our glorification, that we will remember. Oh, so and so glorified me on this day, and this is what they said about me. Sri Narad Muni, he remembered his previous birth. And the reason he was explaining about his previous birth to Srila Vyasadeva is for us, so that we can understand what was Sri Narad Muni before he became this immortal sage Sri Narada. In his previous birth, he was the son of a maid servant. And that's not a very high position, if like the kids, in school, they talk to each other and one of them asks the other one, oh, what does your mother do? And he says, oh, she's a maid servant. And immediately, oh, that feeling of like, oh, I don't want to associate with you because you're the son of a maid servant, right? Here, Sri Narad Muni was very proud that he was a son of a maid servant. And fortunately, excuse me, fortunately, he had the opportunity to serve the Bhakti Vedantas, to serve the devotees of the Lord. And he did that for a few months. He did personal service. This is what Krishna likes. Krishna is very pleased when his devotees serve other devotees. That pleases him. How many times Srila Prabhupada has said that when someone says that I am a devotee of Krishna, Krishna is not so pleased. But when someone says I am a devotee of the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of Krishna, then Krishna says, aha, yes, that is the position. Right? So he served these brahmanas for a few months, like literally doing everything to make them comfortable. He, in fact, would not only serve them, but he would sit down and hear attentively what these devotees had, what knowledge the devotees had to give him. He engaged in devotional service right from young age. He was only 5 years old. We ask the 5-year-olds these days, what are they busy doing? Screen time. All the time, screen time, starting from 1-year-old or 2 years old. It's very easy. Come on, give them the iPad or the phone, let them play games or watch something over there just to keep them engaged. What did Sri Narad Muni do? He was engaged in serving the pure devotees of the Lord. And Narad Muni is explaining to Srila Vyasadeva that his parentage was insignificant. Mother was just a maid servant, but he got the rare opportunity to serve devotees. So, what do we learn from this? That we should grab any opportunity we get to serve the devotees. Because by serving the devotees, when the devotees are pleased, Krishna is pleased. And how can we serve the devotees? Only when we associate with them. The association of devotees is considered to be a door to liberation. If you all have heard Srila Prabhupada's lectures, practically in every lecture he talks about association. That it is so important to associate with devotees, because when we associate, their bhakti, their bhakti rubs off on us. Their what you call enthusiasm rubs off on us just by association and serving. And Sri Narad Muni, besides serving, he took permission from them to eat their leftover prasadam only once. How powerful is that? As just by eating the remnants of a pure devotee, he said all his sins were eliminated. How powerful is prasadam, especially Mahaprasadam, which is the leftover of the pure devotees of the Lord. And look at the Vaishnava etiquette. He took permission. I remember this pastime. I used to watch, I still sometimes watch the memories of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, beautiful memories. And one Mataji was saying that she was a pujari, and every morning she would bring a big plate of Mahaprasad, rasgullas. And I don't want to talk about that because we are fasting today. So we don't want to talk so much about food or prasadam. But you can imagine, big feast on a big plate. And it was, that was the ritual every day after the Mahaprasad came out of the altar. It would be distributed amongst the devotees who were there. And guess what the devotees do? Pounce on those Mahaprasadam. So everyone would, so she said, hold on, I will give you, you tell me what you want. So everyone would choose, no, I want this, no, I want that, I want this and that and that and that. So that became a big responsibility for this Mataji. So she went to Srila Prabhupada. She said, I want to give Mahaprasadam, but I get so flabbergasted, with everyone, wanting this. He said, it's very simple. From tomorrow, you mix all the Mahaprasadam together, make a big halwa out of it. Rice, dal, sabji, samosa, everything, rasgulla, whatever, kheer, everything, you just mix everything together and then you take it out. And guess what? She said the next day when I took that, everyone looked and no one wanted it. He said, what is this? What is this khichdi? They didn't have an option to choose. But what is the importance of that Mahaprasadam? It's powerful. It can help us to remove our sins. It can, Prabhupada says, it can purify our senses. He said even it purifies the finer brain tissues. That is the power of Mahaprasadam. So here, Sri Narad Muni got this opportunity, and with permission, he ate the remnants only one time. And why? How is it considered so powerful? Because there's no difference between Krishna and his prasadam. It has the same potency. And as soon as he ate that, it is said that Sri Narad Muni, he became infected with the purity of those devotees. How beautiful. Just by eating it one time. He was blessed by those Bhakti Vedantas. They blessed him with knowledge and also with bhakti. See, he would sit there every day after serving them. He would sit there and he would hear attentively. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam in the beginning, it tells us that the qualification to hear Srimad Bhagavatam is full attention. You have to be attentive. So he heard attentively, and then he gained unlimited knowledge. And then as he was hearing more and more, the taste for hearing was increasing. One time a disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the benefit of chanting? What do we get when we chant? And Srila Prabhupada said, more chanting. The more we chant, the more we want to chant. Similarly, Sri Narada Muni, the more he heard, the more the taste for hearing was increasing. And his hearing was uninterrupted, very attentive and uninterrupted. And he could feel, a 5-year-old boy could feel ignorance being removed. And he could feel the flow of devotional service within his heart. And he could feel the love for Krishna manifested in his heart. Right? Srila Prabhupada has said that, we think, we feel, we will, we do all that. But if we do that on behalf of Krishna, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, then one can feel transcendental ecstasy. Just like Narada Muni, he felt transcendental ecstasy. See, Srila Prabhupada has given us the whole package. And what is the package deal? It's free of charge. There's nothing we need to pay. All we have to do, if we can sincerely and seriously follow the process given to us by Srila Prabhupada, then the door to liberation will be open. Sri Narada Muni, what a beautiful, wonderful, transcendental devotee. He was gentle in his behavior. Nowadays, sometimes we see a 5-year-old, very difficult to control, not so disciplined. But Sri Narada Muni, he was gentle in his behavior, and he had strong faith in those Bhakti Vedantas whom he was serving. He wasn't serving because his mother told him to serve. He wasn't serving because he thought it was his duty to serve. No. He served because he wanted to serve those Bhakti Vedantas. He had strong faith in them, and he heard from them with strong faith. But here Sri Narada Muni tells Srila Vyasadeva that after the rainy season was over, the Bhakti Vedantas left. But before they left, they planted the seed of devotion in my heart. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij, seed of devotion. That was sowed. See, in this Brahmand, so many souls are wandering, going up and down, but only the fortunate souls get the seed of devotion from the spiritual master. So those Bhakti Vedantas, they sowed the seed of bhakti in Sri Narada Muni's heart. But then what do we do after the seed is sown? We need to water it. That doesn't mean we drink water and the seed within the heart will start growing. No. The watering process is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is how we water the seed of devotion in the heart. And not only that, we need to be aware. We should see if there are any weeds growing around this beautiful Bhakti Lata beach that is sprouting and trying to become a small plant. Obviously, the weeds will come, but we need to, just like in our yard, we pull out the weeds. And what are those weeds? The anarthas. Lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. All these anarthas, They need to be removed because they are weeds. They will eat on this on the plant of devotion. They will eat, take the nourishment away. So we need to remove them. And Prabhupada explains that we also need to put a nice fence around this plant so that it cannot be destroyed. And what is that fence? Is the association of the devotees. The devotees can help us in protecting our own bhakti. They are very compassionate. So, association of devotees is very important. Now, after hearing all this, Srila Vyasadeva, he wanted to hear more. See the effect of hearing Krishna Katha. You want to hear more. So, Srila Vyasadeva wanted to know, how did you leave that body when you were the son of a maid servant? How did you leave that body and become this transcendental sage, Sri Narada Muni, the eternal spaceman or the transcendental spaceman? So Sri Narada Muni. See, this, we notice this in Bhagavad Gita as well as in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a question and answer session going on. Unless there is an inquiry, there will be no opportunity to receive knowledge. Does that make sense? We need to inquire, only then we will get the knowledge. In fact, Prabhupada says intelligent people inquire. So here, Vyasadeva is inquiring for our benefit so that it can be recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam and we can learn from the life of Sri Narada Muni. So Sri Narada Muni says that after those Bhakti Vedantas initiated me, my life changed. And he said the only problem was I was bound by the tie of affection for my mother, which is natural. We all love our mothers. We all love our parents. So he was also bound by that tie of affection. He was dependent on his mother, who was a maidservant. So he said that instead of being dependent on Krishna, I was dependent on my mother. So what does Krishna do? When we come on the path of bhakti, what does Krishna do? He takes away what is an obstacle on our path to devotion, right? So what did Krishna do? He took away his mother. The mother was milking the cow at night and a serpent came and bit her and she died. And now Narad Muni was all alone in this world. He had no one who could take care of him. But what did he think? It's the mercy of Krishna. He told he told Srila Vyasadeva, I took that as a special mercy of Krishna. And so I started for the northern side. And amazing, a 5-year-old boy is thinking this way. A 5-year-old boy, if his iPad is taken away, what will he do? Bring the whole house down, throw a tantrum, lay down on the ground and, flap his hands and legs and, like throw a tantrum. Here, this 5-year-old boy, he's orphaned and he's taking this daring step of making Krishna his ultimate goal, understanding Krishna is my only shelter, he's my only maintainer, which means he's fully surrendering to Krishna. And then Sri Narad Muni explains to Srila Vyasadeva that I started going towards the northern side. He passed through towns and villages and farms and different places, and he traveled. What was the purpose? It wasn't that he wanted to do some sightseeing, no, or to make some new friends, no. His only purpose was to enlighten anyone who met on the way with message of Krishna. He wanted to give Krishna Katha. He wanted to share Krishna Katha with others. And like that, he traveled. And then finally, he informed Srila Vyasadeva that he sat down to meditate on Krishna within the heart, the super soul. And when he was meditating about Krishna, on Krishna, tears started rolling down. He could feel that love for Krishna. And at that time, Krishna appeared within his heart. Why? Because those tears that were flowing down, they were feelings of separation from Krishna. And when Sri Narada Muni saw Krishna within the heart, he described Krishna's form to Srila Vyasadeva, how beautiful that form was. Yellow garments, beautiful ornaments, Vajanti Mala, such a beautiful form, bluish Krishna. And when he saw that form within the heart, he was fully satisfied. And when he was fully satisfied, when we are hungry and there's a big feast in front of us and we gobble it down and we eat and we dump ourselves and dump more and more and more till like here we are full till here, and then we're like, now I'm satisfied. Like that, Narad Muni, just having darshan of Sri Krishna, explaining the beauty of Krishna, he was satisfied. And as soon as he was satisfied, Krishna disappeared. Uh-oh. What would happen if we had darshan of Krishna for a little while and then he was gone? He would go crazy. He was like, he couldn't see the form of Krishna and he was very perturbed. He immediately got up and he wanted to see Krishna again. He was so happy to see, he wanted to see, he had that desire. And then he sat down and he tried hard to concentrate his mind on Krishna. He tried and tried and tried. But Krishna did not give him darshan again. He was grief stricken. It's like, what do I do now? He could not see. See, there is no mechanical process to see Krishna. It's not that, we chant and then we think, okay, I've been chanting for X number of years. Now I think Krishna should show himself to me. Now it's time. No, it doesn't work that way. It's not a mechanical process. So he wanted to see Krishna again, but Krishna would not give him darshan. And there's a reason behind it. At that time, Krishna spoke to Narad Muni. He said, sorry, buddy. Sorry, he didn't say that. He said, sorry, you won't see me again now, especially not in this lifetime. The reason I gave you my darshan is I wanted to increase your hankering for me. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Krishna said, you will continue to remember me, but I will not give you darshan in this lifetime of yours. So Sri Narad Muni was satisfied that, okay, at least I have received some benediction from Krishna that my remembrance of Krishna will continue. How many times people forget, even devotees forget. I saw a cartoon the other day, I don't know where it was, and there the devotee is laying down, it's night time and about to go to sleep and thinking, did I finish my rounds today? The devotee is thinking, no. Right? So Sri Narad Muni, he continued to remember, he continued to chant, he continued to talk about Krishna. He traveled to different places giving the message of Krishna Katha. And finally, he reached the final examination, which is the time of death. It was time for him to change the body. He became free from all material taints and he met death. And at that time, Sri Narad Muni was awarded a transcendental body. There's nice description where it is explained that at the end of millennium, when Lord Narayana lay in the water of devastation, Brahma entered into the body of the Lord through the breathing of the Lord. And along with that, along with Lord Brahma, all creative elements, everyone entered, and Narad Muni also entered into the body of the Supreme Lord. But at the time of creation, by Krishna's will, the sages were created. Sages like Marichi, Angira, Atri, and at that time, Narada also appeared. Narada had entered Lord's body at annihilation, and now he re-entered the material cosmos in that same transcendental body. And he, in his next life, he came as the son of Lord Brahma, and he appeared from Brahma's heart. Sri Narad Muni was always a brahmachari, the greatest emblem of devotional service, most learned and most worshipable also. Talking about worshipable, I remember hearing a beautiful pastime. I think it was by Bir Krishna Maharaj when he had visited Atlanta many, many years ago. I think that's where I had heard this beautiful pastime. So it so happened that Hanuman was doing his daily worship. He was, offering arti to Tulasi Maharani in the courtyard. And it was evening time and he was concluding his Tulasi Arati. And guess who arrived? Sri Narad Muni. And as soon as Hanuman saw Sri Narad Muni, he grabbed his veena and started running. Like, what? Sri Narad Muni is like, oh, what's wrong with you? Have you gone crazy? Why did you take my veena, which is so close to my heart? And why are you running? And veena is very dear to Narad Muni. So he started running behind Hanuman to get his veena. You know, the veena, that instrument. And Hanuman, he, big, heavy built, he started running throughout his whole house, each and every room and kitchen and courtyard and everywhere. When he went through the whole house, ran, then he came back to the courtyard and gave the veena back to Narad Muni. What was that? This was Narad Muni's question. What was that? Is that what you do with a guest who comes to your house? You take their things and then you make them run through the whole house? He said, my sincere apologies. My pranam to you. I had to do this. You are a Mahajana, a great personality, a pure devotee of the Lord. And your lotus feet going through my whole house would purify my whole house. Now, if I had asked you, Sri Narad Muni, can you please walk through my whole house so it can be purified? Would you have done that? Narad Muni started thinking, nope, I don't think I would have done that. I said, so I had to do it myself. I had to make you go through the whole house to purify. See the importance of association of a pure devotee. Just seeing them, right? What is that beautiful verse? Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Just by a moment's association with a pure devotee is so important. Hanuman realized that, and he got the mercy of Sri Narad Muni. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that amongst the sages, I am Narad Muni. And do you all know who gave the veena to Narad Muni? It was Krishna himself. It's mentioned in the Linga Puran that Narad Muni received that transcendental veena from Lord Krishna. And that veena is not an ordinary veena. It is surcharged with devotion. It is surcharged with transcendental sound vibrations. And because it is so powerful, it is as good as, there's no difference between the veena and Krishna himself. And Narad Muni chants using that veena, he chants Narayana, Narayana. He's chanting the holy names. So when he's chanting the holy names using his veena, the presence of Narad Muni with veena is as good as presence of Krishna, because there is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. So Sri Narad Muni, he continues to answer questions of Srila Vyasadeva, and he says, thus I was traveling all over singing the glories of Lord Krishna. I was traveling and vibrating my veena and offering devotional service to whoever wanted to take it. Haven't we noticed in our lives that when we start preaching, not everyone is interested, right? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddha. Out of thousands, only one tries for perfection. So when we are trying to give Krishna Katha, Krishna consciousness to others, not everyone is open to accepting it. Srila Prabhupada, just imagine, close your eyes and imagine, if Srila Prabhupada had not given us Krishna consciousness, what would we be doing right now? Can't even imagine. We would feel depressed. It's because of Srila Prabhupada, he gave us such a simple process that today we are sitting, even though in pandemic we are sitting, associating with each other and relishing Krishna Katha. This is what Sri Narad Muni does. He gives Krishna consciousness for free. That's what Prabhupada did. He gave it to us for free. Only thing he said, what do you call, the payment for this Krishna consciousness. What do we need to give? Not dollars, sincerity and seriousness. This is how we repay back. Of course, Narad Muni is also considered the original spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. We've heard kathas, pastimes of his disciples like Valmiki, Dhruva Maharaj, right? He gave a mantra to Dhruva Maharaj, a 5-year-old boy who is passionate about being more rich and opulent than Lord Brahma. He gave him a mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And just by chanting and meditating, Dhruva Maharaj could have darshan of Krishna. Of course, Sri Narad Muni also have many other disciples like Prahlad Maharaj, Mrigarari the hunter. He made him sinless. And many, many other disciples that are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also. So similarly, he guided Srila Vyasadeva, his disciple, and told him, the reason for your dissatisfaction is because you have not broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead. You must describe the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. And he also said, do so more vividly. And that is how Srimad Bhagavatam was written for whom? For us. So many pastimes of Sri Narad Muni. How expertly he guided his disciples. That is the duty of a bona fide spiritual master, to guide the disciples in the right direction so that they can break the cycle of birth and death and go back to the original home, which is Krishna Loka. But then it behooves on the disciple also to be, sincerely following the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master and delivering himself or herself from this clutches of Maya, from this material world, and go back to the spiritual world. So Sri Narad Muni would expertly guide his disciples. Of course, we don't have enough time to discuss all those pastimes, but one important point is that in Kali Yuga, Sri Narad Muni appeared as Srivas Thakur, right? And Srivas Angan, how many of us have visited Srivas Angan in Mayapur? That was the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtana movement was born, in Srivas Angan. If any of you have not visited, and if you plan to visit in the near future, Mayapur, please go to Srivas Angan. It's a most blessed place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would chant and dance in Shiva Sangan. Srila Prabhupada says that we should help Sri Narad Muni with his welfare work. What is that? Preaching. Encourage everyone we meet to please chant and please hear about Krishna. This is how we will please Sri Narad Muni also. We will please our own spiritual master. We will please Srila Prabhupada. And then finally we will please Shri Radha Madana Mohana. Shri Narad Muni ki jai. I'm going to stop here. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much once again for such a beautiful narration on the glories of Sri Narad Muni. I just want to check with the devotees if there is anyone who would like to ask a question or have a realization, a thought. You can go ahead and raise your hand now and can give you an opportunity to speak. Is there anyone? Yes, Mataji, I see one hand raised. Aditi Lata Mataji, if you are ready, you may go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for your wonderful lecture, Mataji, as usual. It's very blissful. Mataji, so in today's world, what qualification do we need for Narad Muni to come to us? Because Narad Muni is the only person who can immediately, give us that bhakti, that pure bhakti instantly.
It is said that you need lolium, extensive greed. You have to be very, very greedy. Only when we have that greed, then by Krishna's mercy, he will make that arrangement. And we are fortunate that we have already found a bona fide spiritual master who can guide us. He can only guide us, but we have to put in that effort. And it starts with attentive chanting. The greed does not just appear just like that. It's not a switch that you turn on and, oh, today I'm greedy for Krishna. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to put in that effort, and it starts with attentive chanting. When we chant attentively, we hear the sound vibrations. We have a strong morning sadhana, morning program that Srila Prabhupada always stressed on. Doing Mangalarti, offering prayers to the spiritual master, doing Tulasi Puja, nourishing the prayers, and then chanting, and then hearing at least one class every day. And besides that, also doing seva, doing service. Somehow or the other, find opportunities to associate with devotees. But doing all this is not sufficient. Along with that should be sincerity and seriousness. These two are very important ingredients. Then Krishna, when he's pleased with our love for him, our devotion towards him, then he will be able to guide us from within. And of course, the bona fide spiritual master is there to guide us, but the effort comes from our side. It's not that, oh, I am now initiated, so done. My job is done. Now I'm initiated. I don't need to do anything else. No. Actually, Srila Prabhupada says our real bhakti starts from the time of initiation because it's a new birth. And we need to take it very seriously. You don't know how much time we have left. So to get that greed, you need to follow this strong morning program. Okay?
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for a wonderful answer. And Mataji, also I want to share that thank you for saying this pastime about, reminding us this pastime about Hanumanji and Narad Muni. So if we meet Narad Muni, this is what we have to do. We have to aim for his Bina.
Well, since he already had that episode, he will know what we are doing, right? He will be well prepared that, oh, this happened once before. So,
Something else, we have to plan something else then.
yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Aditi Lata Mataji, for your wonderful question and comments. And thank you, Gita Mataji, for the beautiful explanation. If there's anyone else who would like to ask a question or raise comment, leave a comment, you may go ahead and raise your hand.
Gita Mataji, अनंत कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम, श्रील प्रभुपाद से गुरुदेव की जय, श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय. Mataji, your class is always very, very inspiring. We serve devotees as Das, Dasan, Das Bhav. Hari Hari Gauranga. Please give your association every week, Mataji. We need your blessing and association. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Jai Gita Mataji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Vrinda Gopika. I miss your association.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Vanda Gopika Mataji, for those wonderful comments. I see one hand raised here. Champakalata Mataji, if you are ready, you may go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dharma Pranam, all good Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for such a nectarian class. I have a question, Masi. When we are talking about pure Vaishnavas, pure devotees, is it okay for us to see every devotee around us as a pure devotee and serve them nicely? Of course, me personally, I wouldn't call myself a devotee, but every devotee come around us. Like one time I was reading one quote where some Maharaj was mentioning that you're dealing with a devotee should be in such a way that as if your whole sadhana and your attraction to Krishna depending only on that particular moment of dealing with the devotee. So again, at the same time, like Nectar of Devotion says that not to judge devotees. So my question is it okay for us to see every devotee as a pure Vaishnava and serve them and deal with and associate in that way?
Yes, very important point. First of all, we are not an authority to decide who is pure and who is not pure. We are not an authority. So it's just that any devotee we meet, we must try and serve them. Somehow or the other, try and serve them. Because the more we will serve, the more humble we will become. Right? So that is the idea. So first of all, we should not try and figure out who is a devotee, who's a pure devotee. No, any devotee we must serve somehow or the other. Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Champakalata Mataji, for the nice question, and Gita Mataji for the wonderful answer. If there's anyone else, we can just see before we move on. If there's anyone else who would like to ask a question.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes. Go ahead, brother.
Mataji, I wanted to ask, in general Indian culture, or like in the general perception of Narada in India is that he's like a troublemaker sort of personality. So, and probably people just quote those instances. But how can we understand that he's still trying to serve the Lord, despite all of this? And how do we dispel such false appropriations of such a personality? Like when we are explaining to others, what are some of the things that we can mention to, dissipate that doubt?
Yes, yes, it's true. Especially in India, they say that Narada Muni is a troublemaker. But we can explain to them with relating the Krishna Katha, giving pastimes. For instance, when Sri Narada Muni approached Kamsa, instigating him to somehow or the other, get rid of those, the first six, just he wanted Krishna to come down more quicker than, so he may sound like, it may sound like he was a troublemaker. He was going and instigating Kamsa and all. No, there's a reason behind it. So each and every pastime where Narad Muni is involved, there is a reason behind it. That's why Prabhupada says Sri Narad Muni comes at the right time, at the right place, to the right person. That is what Sri Narad Muni does. And important thing to remember is that this is all done because it is Krishna's desire. Krishna wants that. It's Krishna's will. So Sri Narad Muni is just following the desire, fulfilling the desire of Lord Sri Krishna. So we can remove their, what you call their perception of Sri Narada Muni being a troublemaker by explaining these pastimes and the reason behind those pastimes. Yes, Champaklata.
Mataji, Krishna been wanting to ask a question.
Sure, sure.
Ask.
Why did Jagannath become black?
Why did Jagannath become black?
Why did Lord Jagannath become black? You are so sweet, Krishna. You are so sweet. I don't know what to say. Children come up with such questions, such intelligent questions. Krishna, do you know why Jagannath is black? No? No? I know you are a great devotee of Lord Jagannath. Actually, to be honest, I don't know why Jagannath is black. Does anyone know? Does anyone have the knowledge about this? You can please go ahead. Do you, Naveen Prabhu?
No, Mataji, off
Yeah,
the
I have
top of
not
my head,
heard.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Maybe this can be a topic of discussion for another class. We can actually make a
Yes,
class of
yes,
this. So
yes.
thank you, little Krishna, for inspiring us. We may just make a class out of this, another topic. Thank you so much.
Many people say
What? What did you say, Krishna?
What did you say?
that why is Jagannath black?
I
Okay, they will tell you maybe
We will
next
find
class.
out the answer and give it to you. I'm sorry. I don't know. I cannot remember. I don't have any reference. I don't know if any devotees on this panel have an answer to this question. They may go ahead.
Mataji, Jagannath is black, isn't it because he's Krishna? Krishna is also black, right? So
Krishna is bluish, yes.
bluish, yeah. But
Yeah, I don't want to speculate. I don't have any reference from scripture, so I would not want to speculate.
I think Shyam Bihari Prabhu was unmuted. Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Yes.
I was just going to put it on a lighter note that he wanted to propagate racial harmony so that he's black, Balram is white, Radharani is yellow, and everyone is covered.
Good way to look at it. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Ambihari Prabhu, for that wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Thank you so much, Gita Mataji, for being with us once again, giving us your association, and so beautifully narrating these wonderful pastimes. We are very grateful to you, and we look forward to seeing you and hearing from you in the future again. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Okay, so thank you, dear devotees. We will just move along now. Before we conclude, we just have a few announcements, and then we will wrap it up. So coming next week on the 12 Mahajans series, we have part 3, where we will be covering Lord Shiva with our guest speaker, His Grace Shyam Bihari Prabhu, was the wonderful devotee who just gave the wonderful explanation about the racial equality from Jagannath and Balaram. So Prabhu will be gracing us with his wonderful narrations and talks on Lord Shiva. Next week, it will be on August 25th at 7 p.m. And and then our weekly kirtan also happens on Sundays at 6 p.m. This week we'll be having Balaram Jayanti at the temple, but our kirtan will continue as normal, the regular time. Balaram Jayanti program will be in the morning, so please try to join us online or at the temple. Yes, and some upcoming festivals, as we all know, today is Ekadasi, and also the beginning of Julan Yatra, the Swing Festival, and August 19th will be Srila Rupa Goswami's Disappearance Day, and the fast breaking tomorrow will be from 7:02 a.m. to 11:28 a.m. So please make note of that. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be celebrating Balaram Jayanti this Sunday, August 22nd. The schedule will be sent out on our social media platforms shortly. So please look out for that. It will be a morning program and we look forward to having your association. It will be an online program as well. And also Janmashtami will be coming up on August 30th. So we will be sending out the details for Janmashtami, the schedule and the times and everything that will be happening on that day on our social media platforms. So please be aware and stay tuned for the details, as well as Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, which happens the very next day, August 31st. So all details will be coming up soon. This is the link tree where you can visit all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. All our details are posted there. So please check us out and stay up to date with all our festivals and ongoings at the temple. Also, we would just like to send some prayers out to some devotees in the form of His Holiness Chaitanya Swami, who is facing some health issues, and Her Grace Govardhan Leela Mataji, who is also facing some health elements, as well as the doctors who have helped fight the COVID-19 pandemic, and to everyone we haven't mentioned. We will go ahead and chant Hare Krishna now 3 times in a prayerful mood to send some prayers and blessings for the devotees. Please join me if you can, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, dear devotees. And we will go ahead and conclude now. We'd just like to thank everyone for joining us, and we'd like to encourage everyone to please join us next week, and also for our Balaram Jayanti program that is coming up on Sunday. So please stay up to date on our social media forums for the details, and please be safe and take care. We shall now take your leave. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.